Hello, Shep's mommy and daddy. I'm Christina. I'm friends with Monica. I've been following Shep's story on Facebook, and I'm going to cry through this video. I'm going to let you know that up front. I had a daughter almost 4 years ago. She lived 28 hours, and she was at Le Bonheur too. And we had a neonatologist and a whole team of people. I have no idea who most of them were. And they held our hands and walked us through the process of all the treatment that our daughter Violet was going through at Le Bonheur. And I wanted to just tell you a little bit about her story, because there are things that, in particular, one person said to me that kind of really stuck with me through the whole process, and I wanted to pass them on to you, because they just made a world of difference for us. So when Violet was born, I'm not going to go into the whole story, but she wasn't made for this world. Her body was not going to make it very long. And she had 5 resuscitations in her 28 hours. It reminds me a lot of Shep when you kept talking about his resuscitations and his brain function. And I was like, oh, that sounds like Violet. And we never knew how much she would have been able to function because she didn't live long enough for them to do all the tests. It was always just kind of crisis mode. But my midwife, I was supposed to have a midwife, she was there through this whole ordeal. And I remember her saying to me, and at this point we hadn't even considered the fact that she might not live, but my midwife said to me, there's dignity in death too, and you can, if Violet is not going to live, you can give her dignity in death. And I was like, what? I don't understand why you're telling me this. She's not going to die. And I mean, it really hadn't sunk in with me, like the severity of her situation. But at any rate, what she said to me, even though it seems so strange why she would be talking about Violet dying, when we got to Le Bonheur, because Violet was transferred there from Regional 1, I had a really open conversation with the neonatologist, kind of expressing what the midwife had said to me, like in my own words, that we don't want her to die alone on a table. So I need you to be super honest with us. And if this is not going to help, if it's just an attempt to do something else, tell us, because we don't want her to die without us. And sorry, this is super hard conversation to have. But because we had that conversation, that doctor was honest with us. And when the time came, and he gave us the option of another procedure that they could do, and I looked him in the eye and I said, if this was your child, what would you do? And he said, she's had 5 resuscitations. There's likely not much brain function there. He said, if this was my child, I would let her go. And we did. And I'm telling you this just so you know, just so you're equipped, and that you know it's okay to have that hard conversation. And I know you probably already know that. I know someone's probably already talked to you about this. I wouldn't have known if my midwife hadn't had opened that conversation with me. And so I'm just going to be real vulnerable with you and let you know that if no one's told you yet, that it's okay to have that hard conversation, and it's okay to ask the neonatologist to be honest with you, and it's okay to say no to a procedure, and it's okay to hold your baby and send him away. And I'm going to let Monica share this video with you because I know time is really super important right now. And you're going to need this information before I can probably get to you and hold your hand and look you in the eye and tell you this. And I'm praying for your baby. And I hope miracles happen. But if they don't, it's okay. Jesus is taking care of my baby. He takes really good care of babies. So if that's what happens, I'm here for you. I've walked the road. And there are people who can help you through it. But I'm praying that everything works out. But anyway, those are my ramblings. And you are being held and loved, even by people you don't know. And people who share your tears. Because there were people who surrounded me and my family in love, and I didn't know them at all until they opened up and told me their stories. So, that's all. I love you, sweet sister and brother and Shep. All right.